Okay, warm up down, got our strides in, did the activation before the warm up, and I'm going to put the camera down and do our workout because you're not gonna see anything in the black. It looks like this. All right, let's go. Welcome to episode 315 of the HRC Marathon Training Vlog. MK here with my good friend Danny Hung, and we're cooling down after an awesome track session, 5 times 600 meters. It was a good one. All right, I think we hit them all. We went under pretty close for the first few and then kind of turned the dial up a little bit and tightened the screws, and was able to do a little bit of a faster pace for the last couple. Here are the splits on the screen for you right now. All right, sorry Chris, it took so long to get this past projects cap to you, but finally found some time to make it to shipping center and get it off to you. I'm really sorry for being so late. Thanks for understanding. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, had a really good track session today. Last week it was a slog. Danny Hung and I had so much trouble trying to get up to speed. Couldn't hit the splits, but we just did some work and reintroduced those paces to our legs, or kind of as close as we could get to those paces. This week though, we hit our splits. We're going for 2:15 per 600 meters, which is about 6 minutes per mile pace. So 2:07, 2:09 is where we normally ran our intervals at. So we're able to touch that pace at the very end, kind of reignite the muscle memory, and feeling pretty good. Didn't have to really reach too deep or dig too deep, and we're able to get it done. So pretty pleased with that session, and looks like we're in a good place. Legs are feeling really good. Got 9 miles in for the day and pretty stoked. Today I'm going to talk about how to incorporate VO2 Max sessions for marathoners. First of all, we run track sessions in order to increase our capability at VO2 Max, or our speed at VO2 Max. We'll need that at the end of the marathon when our heart rate increases up to that VO2 Max zone. And we'll also need the mechanics of running at VO2 Max speed in order to improve our running economy, so that our speed at marathon pace feels very comfortable. There are 2 different times when we focus on VO2 Max interval sessions. One is outside of marathon builds. For example, when we are just finishing up our spring marathon and we do a spring base build after the marathon. Then once we've reestablished our cardio base and established a solid ability to run at easy pace and steady state pace with relative ease, after the base build we go into another macro cycle of speed, and that macro cycle will last anywhere between 5 to 6, 7 weeks. During that time, not only do we work on VO2 Max, but we also work on speed repetitions, and they differ in that VO2 Max, in order to get our heart rate really, really high, we have very short intervals of recovery. In speed repetitions, there are very long intervals of recovery because we're working on more on speed mechanics. So Cole and Evan are going to go into a speed macro cycle as soon as they finish this base build. It looks like they're in pretty good shape right now. They had a really good general aerobic session today on the track, just to see what it's like to run at that speed on something flat. And they had a super easy time running at easy pace and steady state pace for 10 miles. So likely next week they'll start a speed macro cycle where they will do speed repetitions once per week and VO2 max interval sessions once per week as well. And they'll specifically train for middle distance just because Evan has an 800 meter track race in May for the Irvine Junior Games. But that's okay because that speed actually coincides with the pacing that she will require for her new goal of 2:48 for CIM in December. So we're going to go for a fast 800 and see where it takes us from there. The other time that we do VO2 max interval sessions for marathoning is, of course, within the marathon build. However, we don't start the VO2 max interval sessions at the very beginning of the marathon build. So if we do a 16 or 18 week marathon build, the beginning of the training build does not include any VO2 max interval sessions. So why is that? Why do we wait until 8 weeks till race day to start our VO2 max interval sessions on the track? Well, typically when working out at VO2 max efforts, the performance increase plateaus out at around 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, there's diminishing returns and the improvement kind of flattens out a little bit. So in order to make the best use of time, we use the beginning of the marathon build to focus on strength and endurance, and that effect is a lot more long lasting, and the training effect continues to improve as time continues on. So it's all about just making the best use of the 16 or 18 weeks of time. And in order to do that, let's save our body. Let's focus more on endurance. Let's focus more on lactate threshold, which takes a little bit longer time to develop. And then in the last 8 weeks, we can add on VO2 max and then do some fine tuning for lactate threshold during that time. And then on top of that, we're not really going all the way to VO2 max on our workouts. As a marathoner, we want to do as little as possible to get the most of everything else that we can. So if we are working high volume, then we definitely want to try to minimize the intensity of VO2 max track intervals as much as possible. So we're only going at 5K race pace. We're not doing the intervals at workout intervals that equate to a 5K race pace. We're actually going at the 5K race pace. So the track sessions during the marathon build are relatively easier than the track sessions during the speed cycle after the spring marathon. So after building a lot of strength with a lot of medium long runs, a lot of tempo runs at half marathon pace, and a lot of lactate threshold runs at 10K race pace, we top it off with some really good VO2 max sessions on the track, and then get our economy up. And once we get to the tail end of all those VO2 max sessions and get really close to race day, we're feeling strong, we're feeling fresh, and we're feeling like marathon pace is pretty darn easy. And you will also feel that it's pretty darn easy as well. So don't be so discouraged if the marathon pace feels a little pressured at the beginning of the training build. Don't worry, it'll get a lot easier. Once you start incorporating improvement in the other systems of running, then you will also feel a lot more ease at marathon pace towards the end of the build. We had to do some things different today because I was a little bit busy, had to run some errands, but I am sitting still and vlogging instead of walking or running. Ta-da! Hey, I just want to say a special thank you to our Patreon team. I love you very much. Thank you for all that you do for us. Couldn't do without you.
Okay, I really need to work harder on Instagram, I think. I'll do better, but you can also find us on Strava as well.
Hey, thanks for joining me all the way to the end of this talk about how to incorporate VO2 Max sessions in your marathon training. It's been a couple hours since we finished the workout, so I am starving. I need to go home and get something to eat. But once I do, I'm sure I'm gonna feel pretty good. I hope that you have a great day and a meaningful run. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye now.
Like this video and help it get out to as many people as possible. Subscribe if you haven't done so already so you don't miss a single episode of our daily vlog. And check out episode 301, How to Adjust Difficult VO2 Max Sessions. Alright.